Our old house was on a corner. We had a backyard along with a side yard with a small deck that wrapped around the back. The dining room had a patio door that led out to the back, and we would have barbecues and such back there. When I was about 14, we only had one desktop computer and one laptop for the family. My brother and I would fight over the desktop because it had Diablo 2 installed on it, so I would use the laptop to write music. On one particular night, my brother had a friend over and they were downstairs doing whatever, and I was at the dining room table on the laptop. As I was wrapping up in my writing, I didn't pay much attention to my surroundings. I heard a knock on the patio door which startled me. I looked up expecting my brother or his friend, but the basement had a door that led onto the back deck as well, so that's why I thought it was one of them. Standing at the door and waving was a person, wearing a Halloween pig mask. Thinking it was my brother or his friend, I mouthed, good one, and gave the person a finger and walked away. As soon as they left, I went downstairs to give them shit, and to my surprise and dismay, they were both sitting on the couch playing PlayStation. They swore up and down it wasn't either one of them, and there was no way that one of them would have had time to get downstairs and unmask before getting on the couch. To this day, I have no idea who it was that knocked and waved at my door. The summer after I graduated from high school, I left work early and went up to my parents' cabin in northern Michigan. I spent that night at the beach watching the sunset. Once the sun went down and it became nearly pitch black, I got to my car and started driving down the highway. After about 10 seconds of being at speed, there was an older Tahoe, maybe late 90s, that started riding really close to me and flashing its high beams. So I got up to about 60 in a 45, and they were still on my butt. I pulled off to the side of the road that my parents' cabin is off of, and they took the same turn. I thought this seemed weird because there's only about 30 or 40 houses on the road. So I went all the way to the end, which is usually a dead end, but it leads to a maintenance area for the golf course nearby. The truck was still following me. At this point, I was freaking out because if I pulled into the house, they'd know where we lived, and they were still following close by. Took a ton of random turns, and the truck kept following every single turn for about 15 minutes. I finally had a chance to make a turn with the traffic going through the intersection that gave me a few seconds of a head start. I pulled down a side street, went up about 100 yards, and turned off all of my lights and waited. The truck slowly drove by the perpendicular street and kept going. I booked it home. I pulled my car around the side away from the main road and pulled every curtain. For an 18-year-old, I was scared as hell that night.